And we are live. Good to be here, folks. Glad to be here with you. Going to be a good show. Going to be a little hot, but hey, stick with me. Stick with me. It's going to start a little weird. It is. Stick with me. You're going to want to see this. Let's do this. Good morning. Show's going to start out a little weird, and I do apologize for that. I really do apologize, but stick with me. You're going to like it. This is to give you a frame of reference. What if a Democrat did it? That's what I want you to walk away from this video with is what if a Democrat did it? And the way the corporate media reacts, because we've got some stuff to talk about Trump today, about Kamala Harris. And I just want you to keep that in mind. I mean, with Trump, there's so much crazy, so much weird, so much stupidity. It's like we get desensitized to it, but hell, the corporate media just stops doing their job. So I've got a little palate cleanser for you to begin with. And I want you to that's my question to you. What if a Democrat did it? Y'all have heard me talk about Anna Paulina Luna before and all the craziness about her claiming Jewish heritage and her grandfather was a Nazi and she didn't. No, it's just insane. Well, that's not all of it. She actually, when she started out, she just really well, you just got to see it. This is from her. This is not Democrats doing it to her. This is what she wanted us to see about her. It went viral back in the day. Well, the right wing really can't talk about Trump right now because he's just setting himself on fire on a daily basis. So they don't want to talk about Trump. So they're digging up old stuff that they used to like and making it go re-viral. This is one of those videos that has just exploded all over and gone re-viral again. Now the song Barracuda would be playing in the background. It's that's the way she did this. She edited it. She dubbed in the song Barracuda in the background. You didn't hear it because I didn't play it because I don't want another copyright ding from you can only take so many of those copyright dings before they start, taking your account away. So no, I didn't play it with the music the way she created it and put it out. This is from her. Could you imagine if a Democrat did that? Could you imagine if a Democrat, could you imagine if it was AOC that did that put that video out? What would the corporate media do? Well, you've got some idea what the corporate media would do. This video, actually, it wasn't this video. The right wing edited this video of AOC and remixed it together, showing her most seductive poses in it when she first came on the scene, because they wanted to create the narrative around her that she was a bartender and that she was, exactly. They're Jared, they were slut shaming her is what they were trying to do. So they took this video and they edited it down to nothing but AOC and tried to make her seem weird. But this is what the actual video was. It was her and a bunch of art students got together and did a project on the roof when she was at Boston University, of all of them dancing. Well, the right wing edited out everybody but AOC, but it was a bunch of kids. It was a bunch of kids dancing. See, this guy, he wasn't in the video when they edited it. I'm not going to play all of it. It's 4 minutes long, but I just want you to see, oh boy, they re-edited that in over and over and over and over again to try to make her look like she was trying to be super seductive or something like that. But no, it's a bunch of kids. This is the actual video. It's a bunch of kids just having a good time. And AOC's fully dressed. She's not wearing, her ass isn't hanging out. You know what I mean? That's what the right wing does. But then they turn around and, this is Anna Paulina Luna, unedited video. We on the left had nothing to do with it. We didn't edit this video. We didn't take it out. She dubbed the music Barracuda on top of it. And this is what she wanted us to see. They love all that. But then this. That's what I want. That's the taste I want in your mouth as we do the show today. I want you to look at everything that's going on with that frame of view. What if a Democrat did it? Because I'm telling you, this stuff that we're going to talk about today is nuts. The Trump campaign is flailing. And do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get as many people as possible in here so we can talk about this. And please forgive. I'm looking at myself. I know this looks terrible, folks. Anybody that works with Santa Claus knows that your beard has to be on point by the time the holiday season gets here. So yes, I'm growing it in August, and it looks terrible. I promise in the next few days we'll shave it up and clean it up, and it won't look so bad. I apologize. But when you're in Santa's White Beard Club and you're one of Santa's assistants that has to help make sure that Santa gets the message about the presents and whatnot. For your grandkid, they got to understand you've got your, Anyways, I know it looks terrible and I'm sorry. But anyways, let's talk about what we're talking about today. The Republicans are just throwing anything at the wall. They're desperate. Trump is just dying in the polls. Folks, Florida is within the margin of error now. Florida is within the margin of error. Texas is within the margin of error. Ohio is a dead heat. Trump is freaking the hell out. And no one in that campaign understands the problem. None of them. And we're going to talk about it today. This is the kind of things that they've got their surrogates going out and doing, trying to see if anything will stick. This is Clay Higgins. Every campaign has surrogates that go out and say things, but, the corporate press really doesn't give Democrats equal time on that front. But they'll listen to any Republican that wants to say anything. This is Clay Higgins trying to start a conspiracy theory that somehow the FBI is trying to cover up the whole Butler shooting thing where Trump got his little ear nicked. They're really pissed off that didn't have more hang time and people really didn't care about that much. They're really upset about that. And they're really upset about the fact that it was one of their own. And it turns out their daddy, the shooter's daddy, is a major 2A bro. That this kid could walk into his house, grab an AR-15, walk out the door. The dad would see it and not question. I mean, they don't like any of the reality that's coming out about that whole situation. So they're trying to create a conspiracy theory that the FBI is covering something up because they returned the shooter's body to the family. That's all they got, folks. It's all they got. Thanks for the support, Jackie. I really appreciate you. Peter Campbell in the house, man. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Good morning, potheads. 80 days till election day. One party wants to limit the potential of we the people because of their inability to lead. The other party wants to unlock the potential of we the people. Dream big, vote. Well said, sir. Well said. Thank you. Man, I hope your coffee's as good as mine. That's just hitting this morning. This is my daily driver. This is my Dunkin', and I really. I hear you, brother. I hear you. I'm working hard to go the other direction. I am. I'm really looking forward to this holiday season. I am. But I don't want to get too positive because we got some negative stuff to talk about. We'll get positive at the end. This just when I'm talking about Trump really doesn't understand and doesn't know what to do. They really are flailing. This is the latest thing. You remember they were talking about, oh, we're not going to tax tips. We're not going to this. We're not making all kind of promises. This is, again, from the Trump War Room. This is their official campaign account on Twitter. This is from Trump. President Trump, I am announcing today that under my leadership, the U.S. will commit to the ambitious goal of slashing energy and electricity prices by half at least. Your energy bill will be down by 50 to 70%. Bullshit. That man just said that he's going to cut revenues for the energy industry by 50 to 70%. No, that is not happening. I don't, even stupid people will hear that and go, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. And they don't understand why they don't understand why their campaign is dying. They don't get it. They don't get it because Trump has always done this. Just say what the hell ever. And here's MAGA. Yeah, give me more of that bullshit. It's just, they don't get it. They don't understand a post Roe v. Wade world. They don't understand that we are living in a world that has seen things really happen. And people are serious now. People get it. They saw them take Roe away. They've seen them talk about taking Social Security, cutting Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. And they're saying, oh, wow. All those years, I thought that was all talk and they were never going to do it. They're really going to do it. People are serious. In the villages in Florida, they're having Harris-Walz parades, folks. This is a different world. And Trump has no clue what to do about it, just none whatsoever. And this is just, yeah, exactly. Thank you, Taylor. We are not going back. We are not going back. And Sharon, you're right. They cannot fight enthusiasm and optimism. They can't. They don't know what to do with this. Trump is a narcissist. He is a sociopath. He's crazy. He cannot relate to human beings. He doesn't understand. People that are like that are negative all the time. Attack, 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 attack. That's all they know. They cannot feel the emotions that we feel. They can't feel the emotional changes. That's why they're out there flailing and drowning, and it's crazy. This is the kind of thing that they're doing, folks. They have rehired Corey Lewandowski. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. He's rehired Corey Lewandowski. And for those of y'all, I look at the chat. There are people that know. I'm here to remind you a little bit about Corey Lewandowski and why that is insane. Just insane. First of all, Corey Lewandowski, this is the kind of person he was. When Corey Lewandowski was asked about, and just a little reminder of how terrible the Trump administration was, the corporate media finally started to ask questions about Trump's treatment of people at the border. You know, they're not asking any questions now about the camps that they're talking about building. But when there were camps, they finally went down and said, oh, this looks bad. And they started seeing horrific situations over and over. Children literally put in cages, ripped from their parents and put in cages. And when Corey Lewandowski was asked about an 11-year-old child with Down syndrome that was taken from her mother and put in a cage and was just having an utter meltdown. I mean, just imagine one being an 11-year-old child taken from your mother and thrown in a cage. You see your mother drug off and arrested. That is traumatic alone. Now imagine trying to process that with Down syndrome. Sherry Foster, we're absolutely not going back. The only direction we're going forward. Absolutely, Sherry, and thank you for the support. It lets me do this full time. I really appreciate you. You pay for these subscriptions, you pay for these bills, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. So when Corey Lewandowski was asked about this, what do you think his response was? I know you folks. I know you're well-informed people. Somebody's going to know the answer to this. It was a 2-word answer. Guess what his answer was? When the press asked him in front of a camera, I knew it. I knew you people knew it. Womp womp. That's what he said. I knew you people would know. I'm telling you, y'all keep me going. Y'all keep me going. You really do. Yeah, that's who Corey Lewandowski is. When asked about an 11-year-old kid with Down syndrome, separated from her mother, going through an extreme emotional crisis, he said, womp womp. And you'd think, okay, well, that was stupid. That was stupid, right? Well, no, he had time to think about it. And it was a big deal. That blew up. The people were like, wow, you really said that? You really said that? And he had time to think about it. And he doubled down. When asked about it a few days later, I got nothing to apologize for. That's Corey Lewandowski, folks. That's who this guy is that they just hired. This is the kind of person that Trump really likes. Really likes. He had to fire him once over some of the stuff we're going to talk about here. It started with this. Y'all remember Puppy Killer? Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem had Donald Trump wrapped around her finger. She did. She let him touch her, and she would kiss him and stuff like that. And she really had Trump wrapped around her finger. And the people inside the Trump campaign, again, not coming from us. Stamp Stitches, I love your beard. I hope Miss Dolly is feeling better. She is. She is much better. She's got her. Thanks for asking. Thanks for saying that. She's had her allergy shot, and she's actually feeling much better. The Kristi Noem here was causing panic within the Trump administration, and re-election campaign. Again, this came from inside the House. This was not we Democrats. This was not the corporate media responding to things that we Democrats said. They don't do that. They don't do that. This came from inside the House. The campaign folks were so freaked out because they knew puppy killer had so much baggage, and Trump was just slobbering all over her and could not control himself, that they had to act to end that situation. And it was people around Trump that leaked to the Daily Mail that Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski were having a long time, years-long affair, that they'd flown off to Paris. They gave personal accounts of, folks, everybody knows. If you're having a relationship with somebody at work, everybody knows. And it's not just because of talk. Everybody knows, because when you have that type of relationship with someone, you do things with that person that you wouldn't normally do with other people. Kissing, inappropriate touching. One of the things that came out in right-wing media was one of the staffers said, yeah, she had a really bad habit. She would always sit next to Corey Lewandowski. We knew they were having an affair because she would take his hand and put it in her crotch when they were sitting at tables. She would reach under the table, grab his hand, and put it in her crotch. That's not normal. That doesn't normally happen. So yeah. And again, came from inside the house. It was staffers. They were trying to submarine Kristi Noem because they knew she had so much, puppy killer had so much baggage, and that she wasn't going to survive prime time. So these were people trying to protect Trump from Trump himself, because he was just slobbering all over her. But that's not the worst of Corey Lewandowski. Yeah, he has a real problem keeping his hands to himself. There was this. He was actually charged in a couple situations. He ended up cutting a deal in this situation. He wasn't able to shake this one off. There's several allegations that came out. There's one down in Jupiter, Florida. This one was in Las Vegas. He wasn't able to beat this one. He had to cut a deal. And he wasn't able to beat this one because this was somebody. This wasn't just some nobody that they could run over and grind out of the campaign. This was Trishelle Odom. She is the wife who's pictured here with her family and her husband, John Odom. John Odom here is somebody in the Republican Party. He is, for you political old timers, the best comparison I can give you is John Odom is Bob Perry. Y'all may remember Bob Perry from Texas, super wealthy, ultra rich. He's one of the guys before he died was one of the guys in the billionaire frat boy club. He was just sugar daddy. Well, that's John Odom. He's from Idaho. He is in construction, builds homes, public projects, things like that. Played big in the Louisiana governor's race. He funded Jeff Landrieu to the teeth. So he is somebody. They couldn't make this go away. Corey Lewandowski sat next to his wife at a fundraiser in Las Vegas. You see his wife here holding the baby, and proceeded to grope her. Grabbed her thighs, grabbed her butt, told her how big his Johnson was, made all kinds of lewd suggestions to her, and she filed charges. She did. She filed charges. And he couldn't make those go away, so he ended up having to cut a deal in that case. But that's not the only time something like that has happened. This one went away. This was investigated in Jupiter, Florida. This is Joy Villa. I don't expect you to know who this is. This is one of those entertainers that's trying to make a name for themselves. Yes, that's Make America Great dress. She wore that to the Grammys. A couple years in a row, she was invited to the Grammys. Not a real big name. I don't expect you to know who she is. But yeah, you'll recognize the type and what she's trying to do. She wore this also. Yeah, you get it. Again, these are coming from inside the House, not we Democrats doing this. This is coming from inside the House. She filed a police report and said that Corey Lewandowski slapped her on the butt hard enough that it was actual assault, among other things, and filed a police report with the Jupiter Police Department, which, being Florida, DeSantis territory, they all made her and it go away. It's just not a nice guy. He's not a nice guy. And he's full of crap. Y'all may remember this. Michelle Fields, again, coming from inside the House. Michelle Fields was a reporter for Breitbart. She is Team Trump. There was a video that came out. I didn't play the video. The video is grainy. It's security video. You can look it up on the internet. It was hugely, it went viral. This is Corey Lewandowski saying, Michelle Fields, you are totally delusional. I have never touched you. As a matter of fact, I have never met you. And then, yeah, he totally knew who she was. And yeah, he totally put her hands on her. Video came out. This is the one where Trump was walking down the hall with a gaggle of reporters, and Michelle Fields walks up next to Trump and starts asking him some questions. And apparently Corey Lewandowski had made some suggestions to Michelle Fields, which she blew off and ignored. So he walked up to her, grabbed her by the arm, yanked her, and threw her about 5 feet back. That's put his hands on a reporter. And then denied he ever knew her. So videos came out over and over and over again of him talking to Michelle Fields. And again, Michelle Fields went away. The allegations went away. Trump. It's just who these people are. It is just who these people are. And Trump thinks this is going to help because they really don't know what's wrong. They don't get it. They don't get that this is not 2016, that we've been through a Trump administration, that we know who Donald Trump is, and that this is a different world. And they don't get it. It's not working. They brought J.D. Vance out, and this is what they're getting out of J.D. Vance. I mean, this is just the kind of stuff that normally would play. I mean, because the MAGA world is misogynistic. They're full of toxic, they call it toxic masculinity, but I don't call it masculinity. It's just toxicity. It's just gross. And things just keep coming out. I told you, J.D. Hamill is going to just keep being the what keeps on giving. The latest thing that's coming out about J.D. Hamill, they went back all the way back to high school. That's why I'm not showing it. And some pictures came out from high school. I don't give a shit what he did in high school. I really don't. As long as it's not like majorly criminal, I don't care. But no, this is from when he was J.D. Vance. If you didn't know it, ladies, if you happen to be a grandmother and postmenopausal, your purpose in life is to raise your daughter's children. You're supposed to be your daughter's nanny. That's what you're supposed to do. And this campaign cannot understand why that's not flying. Thank you, Stargal. My sentiments exactly. Yeah, I mean, just sat there with a microphone in his face. He and the podcaster are talking about the role of grandmas. Well, your job is to raise your daughter's children. That's what you're here for. That's what you're supposed to do. And it just doesn't stop there. You know, JD thinks he's helping here. He thinks he's helping here, and he's not. This is just calls attention to what Trump is.
But the one thing that I think the Marines really do is we have the best motto. I have a favorite motto of the U.S. military, and of course I'm biased, but Semper Fidelis, always faithful. Right? You hear Marines say it all the time, Semper Fi. And to me, what it means is that Marines are always faithful to our country and to our brothers and sisters in arms. But it also has another meaning, which is that we always have to be faithful to all of the members of our military who served this country and did so honorably. And you heard Jim Banks talk about this. To all of the members of our military who served this country and did so honorably. And you heard Jim Banks talk about this a little bit, and I want to expound upon it because I really do think that Donald Trump exemplifies that motto because his government and under his leadership, the United States was always faithful to the veterans of this country, and that's something.
Wow. Do we have any Marines in the chat? Because I'd really like to hear what you think about Trump exemplifying what Semper Fi means. Oh my God. Really? Really? And they think this helps because they don't know how bad they look. All right, Luis, how do you feel about it? Once a Marine, always a Marine. Semper Fi. Does Donald Trump exemplify? You know, folks, I've never served. I never have. And I've always had a deep gratitude for those that do. But even I can understand that's offensive as hell. That is just offensive as hell. And, you know, it's just every time they stick a microphone in front of John Donald Bowman's face or James David Hamill or JD Vance or whatever you want to call him, he's always saying something to piss somebody off. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think it's one of these things that's evolved over time, right? So obviously you had this massive wave of Italian and primarily Italian, Irish, and German immigration, right? And that had its problems, right? It had its consequences. You had higher crime rates. You had these sort of ethnic enclaves developing. You had inter-ethnic conflict in the country where you really hadn't had that before. Yeah, you know, I think it's one of these things.
I guess he didn't get the message that when you're shitting on immigrants that you're only supposed to, you know, as a Republican, only supposed to be attacking the brown immigrants. But yeah, I'm Irish. My family's Irish. My family's German. My family's Norwegian. Screw you, JD Vance. That's the way I feel about it. You know, all they want to do is talk bad. We are a nation of immigrants, and all they can do is talk bad about the people that created this country. Thank you, Gene. Thank you. I appreciate that comment. I do. Philip Alapore, great follow, by the way. You need to look him up on your social media. I love this guy. I really do. Project 2025 is there. And exactly. No matter what they say, we're going to talk about that. That is a big part of this show. Thanks for bringing it up, Philip. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate you for sharing that. I do. But no, it doesn't end there. And it's not just JD Vance. You know, all they want to do is that Putin militarized immigration thing. Just attack immigrants, attack immigrants, attack immigrants. But they're so freaking stupid. I mean, here's Trump himself. I mean, JD Vance has been nothing but a drag on his campaign, and they can't understand why. Because in their little MAGA cult, they love to hear this stuff. They love it, but they can't understand what's happened in the world. Linda Orndorff, back says, our army here. I can't look at the JD without picturing him with his eye. Yeah, I know. He's always wearing that eyeliner. Always wearing. Thank you for the support, Linda. I really appreciate you. Wolf McBastage. That's funny, man. That's funny. Army here, trained Marine armor. I'm hard. Yeah. Just, they don't get it. They don't get it. And thank God they don't. I mean, good Lord. This could be close if they actually got it, because there's enough morons that listen to stuff like this. Listen to what he says here. Philly says someone asked Vance about the Trump Foundation that was supposed to help troops and was a total free. Yeah. Sold from children's charities also. All right, look. I just listen to what this idiot says here.
Virtually 100% of the net job creation in the last year has gone to migrants. You know that? Most of the job creation has gone to migrants. In fact, I've heard that substantially more than beyond the number of 100%. It's a much higher number than that, but the government hasn't caught up with that yet. But virtually.
What? Okay, they can't deny the economy's doing freaking great. They can't deny it anymore. They just look stupid. But one, every job created over the last year only went to immigrants. Yeah, that's that weaponized immigration. You gotta give the bigots in your core something to hate. I mean, that's idiocy in and of itself, is to say every job created went to immigrants. That's just not even close to true. Not even close to true. But corporate media is not going to say anything about that. But what the hell is more than 100% of the jobs? When I went to school, Steve, I love it, man. 2 + 2 = potato. That's funny. That is funny. Oh, man, I love you people. I really do. When I went to school and you were talking about a quantity and you said 100% of that quantity, that was all of it. You don't get any more than 100% of a quantity. Now, if you were talking about an increase or something, okay, yeah, but no, this is a quantity. 100%. That's it. That's all it gets. How the hell do you get more than 100% of jobs? And this man, there are people really in this country that think this man, was a good president when it's provably, demonstrably, by any metric you want to measure, false. But they think that is what they want in a leader. And it's insane. It is insane. These people are out there. That's why we got to keep our foot on the gas, man. We really do. It's working great. And let me tell you, they have gotten in his head. He is really, keep on the weird thing, people. Keep on the weird thing. This is how bad it's gotten in his head. This was that he called another press conference, press conference that he was supposed to have. I told you it wasn't going to be a press conference. If you follow my social media, no, it was going to be a wine and gripe fest. It wasn't going to say anything new. There was going to be no press conference. He didn't answer any questions. He rambled on for like 40 minutes before anything whatsoever got asked. And then it was free infomercial, again, provided by the corporate media, but even they cut away from it. It's tired. It's old. But I really did like this. This is getting in his head, man.
People very angry at her. I think I'm entitled to personal attacks. I don't have a lot of respect for her. I don't have a lot of respect for her intelligence. And I think she'll be a terrible president. And I think it's very important that we win. And whether the personal attacks are good, bad, I mean, she certainly attacks me personally. She actually called me weird. He's weird. It was just a soundbite. And she called JD and I weird. He's not weird. He was a great student at Yale. He went to Ohio State, graduated in 2 years at the top of his class, and all of these different things. And we have this guy that's running a very failed state, who's had a terrible career. I mean, you have him saying they're weird. No, he's a weird guy. And she's weird in her policy.
They are in his head, man. They are in his head. And it is really good. He went on for a while about that. I mean, it was, they cut the video off. She called me weird. Keep your foot on the gas, people. Keep your foot on the gas. I'm telling you, we can't let up. We cannot let up. But yeah, something that's not funny. I mean, that's a good laugh and everything. Enjoy that. It's a little Schadenfreude. Everybody enjoys it. Man, I hope your coffee's hitting as good as mine is this morning. Every once in a while, it just just right. But you know, folks, this is not funny. And for the folks in our community that have served, I'm sorry, I got to play this. This is just, well, here, just.
I have to say, Miriam, I watched Sheldon sitting so proud in the White House when we gave Miriam the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the highest award you can get as a civilian. It's the equivalent of the Congressional Medal of Honor, but civilian version. It's actually much better because everyone gets the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's soldiers. They're either in very bad shape because they've been hit so many times by bullets, or they're dead. She gets it, and she's a healthy, beautiful woman. It's right. And they're rated equal. I have to say, Miriam,
No.
I watched Sheldon sitting so proud in the White House when we gave Miriam the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the highest.
No. There's the Medal of Honor, and there's the Congressional Medal of Honor. No. There is no higher honor. And yeah, he's right. Most people that get the Congressional Medal of Honor died for our country. No, I don't. I'm rarely at a loss for words. But yeah, exactly. No, the bullshit medal he gave to Rush Limbaugh, the predator drug addict that did so much oxy, he went deaf. No, is not the same as the Congressional Medal of Honor. No. And they can't understand because they're narcissists, because they're sociopaths. They don't understand why they're just flailing and failing, and that it's real and it's serious. It's not just talking points anymore. It's just not. It's just not. You've got this. We're going to talk about Russell Vought in the 2025 project here for a little bit. He's co-author of the 2025 project. It's time to rehabilitate Christian nationalism. Yeah, this is a guy that Trump listens to. He was a former director of the Office of Management and Budget under the Trump administration. He is the co-author of the 2025 project. Talking about a theocracy. You know, we've seen Kevin Roberts here before, and this Russell Vought. I mean, you need to know who this person is, because he is. I mean, he was one. There's a great. I'm about to share it with you here. Haley Halo. I believe the 107 comes from Ziklag having 107 families involved. He said he had 107,000 people at his New Jersey rally. He's also mentioned his personality defect that came from psychopath ads. Yeah, we're gonna do a whole show on Ziklag. We are. You've got to know. I want to do that part as part and parcel to what they're doing here in Texas, what they're doing in Florida, what they're doing in Ohio. Ziklag is a really bad group. It is billionaires that have decided it's time to end our democracy, basically, is what it is. But yeah, there's a group called the Center for Climate Reporting that did an undercover sting on Russell Vought. Vought. I've heard it pronounced different ways. It looks like Vought to me. That's what I'm going with. Yeah, I'm going to play you a little bit of that. You know, Trump says, I don't know what the 2025 project is. Well, Russell Vought, his head from his administration, his head of the Office of Management and Budget, lets you know here. This is a 9-minute video. I want you to go watch the whole video. I do. I can't sit and play 9 minutes of this video. I just can't do it. But I'm going to play you a couple minutes of it to give you a taste of it. Again, this was outstanding work by this is the Center for Climate Reporting. They are on Threads. They're on X. You can go find this whole video. I'll actually put a link to it after the show. I'll go down in the description so you can watch the whole video. But here is just a taste of it.
Two undercover reporters posing as donors are about to meet one of the key architects of Project 2025, the radical plan for Trump's second term, in a hotel suite rigged with hidden cameras.
Nice to meet you. Would you like coffee or something?
I'd love coffee, yeah.
Great.
Meet Russ Vought.
Russell Vought, the former director of the Office of Management and Budget.
He's been called the most dangerous MAGA diehard you've never heard of.
I am opposed to the Department of Education because I think it's the Department of Critical Race Theory.
The Russ Vought were comrades in arms.
Formerly a cabinet member and chief lieutenant in the first Trump admin,
I want to thank Russ for doing an incredible job.
he now runs a group called Center for Renewing America.
An organization that I helped turn into the Death Star that is accomplishing all the debates that you are reading about. I think you have to rehabilitate Christian nationalism. You have the largest deportation in history, block funding for Planned Parenthood. I want to be the person that crushes the deep state.
Vought is one of the key authors of the blueprint for a second Trump administration.
Project 2025.
It's an ambitious 920-page blueprint.
Like eliminating the Department of Education, the mass firings of civil servants,
Banning access to the abortion pill and further restricting abortion rights.
In recent weeks, the plans have become so controversial that Trump has been forced to distance himself.
They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right. And they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is. It's Project 25.
Are you ready? I know nothing about Project 25. I haven't seen the document. I don't intend to really see the document.
But behind closed doors, Vought tells us not to take Trump's disavowal seriously.
I expect you to hear 10 more times from the rally, the president, distancing himself from the left's boogeyman of Project 2025.
Yeah.
And
you're not worried about that?
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
He's running against the brand. He is not running against any people.
Okay.
He is not running against any institutions. It's interesting. He's in fact not even opposing himself to a particular policy. Yeah. He's been at our organization. He's raised money for our organization. He's blessed it from I remember walking into our last day in office and told him what I was going to do. So he's very supportive of what we do.
So yeah. Trump loves the Project 2025 so much he made it his campaign. Agenda 47, I've said this over and over again, is just they peel the label Project 2025 off, but Agenda 47 on the top of it, and that's the Trump campaign policy. Trump's out there trying to run from the 2025 project because of all the horrific things in it about ending our democracy, about gutting our government, destroying our government. Even MAGA has elements in it that are saying, what? Please lie to me and tell me this isn't real. Yeah. And here you have the co-author saying, well, yeah, he's just saying that on the campaign trail. When I talk to him, we're all good. He knows what I'm doing. I told him what I'm doing. In this video, he goes on to say something that is just horrifying. Now, the whole point of the 2025 project, and the reason they call it the 2025 project, and the reason Trump came out and said, his words, you remember the video, I will be a dictator on day one, is that the whole point of the 2025 project is to be a blitzkrieg. It is to have all of the employees with all their paperwork figured out, already filed, ready to go, so that on the day he takes office in January of 2025, he will shove those employees into place and he will release a massive raft blitzkrieg of executive orders that puts its foot on the neck of our government on day one. That's the whole point of the 2025 project, is to not give anyone the time to legally react to any of this. It is a well-planned fascist takeover of our government. And that is why Trump said, I'm going to be a dictator on day one. That's what he means. That's what he's talking about. He's 100% on board with all of this. And it's not a joke. What Russell, I call him Russell Vought, they call him Russell Vote, says on this is that he has written hundreds of executive orders that are ready to go the second Trump would be sworn in with his hand on that Bible. He's going to turn around, he's going to sign every one of these executive orders, and that's it. We're done. We're over as a country. They're going to completely, 100% gut our institutions. They're going to end not just the Department of Education. You're talking about all oversight, anything that can oppose a presidency at all, anywhere. And Russ Vought says it because he thinks these people are there to give him money to do this very thing. And these people, the reason he's very comfortable saying this and doing this is these undercover reporters are not the first and only people he's met with. This is a very, very well-funded movement. Victus Video says, little late here. As a Marine, we believe in honor, courage, and commitment above all else. And Donald Trump and his little puppy Vance have none of those qualities. Hoorah! Thank you for saying it, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate it. They don't get it. They don't understand why this is a problem for them. Because in MAGA, it's not. You've seen the interviews. They put the microphones in MAGA's faces, and they say, how do you feel about Trump saying he wants to end democracy? And you'll get the guy wearing the Donald Trump hat that says, we probably need to do that. Yeah, he needs to tear it down and build it back up because, liberals, it's insane. It's insane. Fortunately, even though the corporate media is really not doing their job on this, I mean, you're talking about the end of our country. You have groups, you have myself, you have people out there, organizations, other people. You got Hal Sparks, you've got Midas Touch, you have all kinds of groups. And the Lincoln Project, here's an ad from the Lincoln Project. I've got a couple of their ads that are just fantastic that I want you to see. They don't understand why this is hitting so hard.
Donald Trump is a draft dodger, a coward.
I had deferments because of college, like a lot of people did. Numerous deferments because of college.
When 58,000 men gave their lives in Vietnam, Trump was the spoiled rich kid who faked bone spurs.
I had a foot thing, and I had deferment for that.
He mocked men who fought, bragging that cruising New York for sex and avoiding STDs was his own Vietnam.
It is your personal Vietnam, isn't it?
It is my personal.
It is. You've said that many times.
Like a great and very brave soldier.
Trump called veterans suckers and losers. He mocked POW John McCain.
He's a war hero. 5.5 years. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
Donald Trump, a coward, a criminal.
I always wanted to get the Purple Heart. This was much easier.
Stand up for America.
And when we fight, we win.
Great commercial. Great commercial. I would add to that a Medal of Honor recipient who was one of those Medal of Honor recipients. He wasn't a CMH recipient. He wasn't a Congressional Medal of Honor. He was a Medal of Honor recipient. Was at a Trump event, and Trump was caught on a hot mic telling his campaign staff to never have that person there again because people don't want to look at that. Imagine if a Democrat did it. Just imagine if a Democrat did it. Got another great ad here. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. These ads are so freaking good because they use their own words.
I love you. Have a great day at school.
Dictator on day one. There will have to be some form of punishment for women.
Roe vs. Wade was terminated.
Fire, fury, bloodbath. Now get in.
You know what, honey? I'm going to drive you today. Besides, can convicted felons even drive school buses?
If you wouldn't trust him with your kid, why would you trust him with your country?
Outstanding. Outstanding. I'm telling you, these ads are fantastic. They are fantastic. And you juxtapose that against what's coming out of, and this is before the Harris-Walz campaign hasn't even turned the guns on Donald Trump yet. They're sitting on a massive war chest. Massive. The ad buys coming in September and October are going to be huge. These numbers are coming out with just the Trump campaign setting itself on fire, with outside groups running ads like this. Again, I can't stress that enough. I mean, imagine the campaign as a gigantic battleship. Those massive guns haven't even turned and trained themselves on Donald Trump yet, much less opened fire yet at all. But don't get complacent, folks. Don't get complacent. Just don't. Keep your foot on the gas. Check your voter registration. Get that out of the way. Do it now. Again, you've got like 50 days before you run out of time and can't do it. They're cheating. They are cheating. They're literally taking people that have no reason to have their voter registrations questioned, and they're suspending people's voter registrations and forcing people to go basically re-register to vote. That's really happening, and it could have happened to you already. They're going to cheat. So don't take your foot off the gas just because we've got great things like this happening. You know, Kamala Harris and the Harris-Walz campaign put a policy paper out, and it is fantastic. You remember J.D. Vance ran his mouth about, well, families are important. We've got to incentivize families. We need a $5,000 tax credit for people. And then when Chuck Schumer said, great, I've been wanting to do that forever, and put it on the floor, J.D. Vance didn't show up. J.D. Vance didn't vote for it. Well, Kamala Harris has unveiled their policy agenda. Again, this is just part of it going into, remember, we've got our convention coming up next week. We're going to control the news cycle. Things like this are how they control the news cycle. This is just hit. This is their first real policy paper that they put out, and it's fantastic. They're talking about eliminating medical debt. How many people do you know of that are good, hardworking, decent people that are just outstanding, good, decent people that have had their lives destroyed because they got cancer? And the medical bills bankrupted them, or they had a heart attack and their medical bills bankrupted them. It's bad enough they lost the income because you can't work after you've had a heart attack. I mean, it takes a while to rehabilitate yourself. See, how many people out there, folks, the majority of Americans can't handle a $600 emergency, much less losing your job. So the Harris campaign is really doing something, really proposing legislation that they're going to get through. If we do our job, we show up, we vote. Even Frank Luntz has said we may make massive gains in the Senate. If things keep trending the way they are, we will have possibly a veto, tongue-tied. I hate when I do that. We're going to have a supermajority in the Senate if things keep going the way things are going. And we can do things like this proposal, which is the elimination of medical debt for people that are being forced into bankruptcy over medical debt. Talking about a 25, we have a housing crisis. There are two ways to handle that. A, you devalue everyone's home, which is terrible for the economy and it's terrible for you. It's literally devaluing your biggest asset. Or B, you help incentivize people so that they can afford to buy homes. So the Harris campaign has proposed a $25,000 incentive for first-time home buyers. It'll just be a government little pilon right on the top to help people buy a house. You're talking about real policies, not crazy shit like mass deportations for no damn reason. When I got to tell you, Kamala Harris was Joe Biden's border czar. Way to go, Kamala Harris. Border crossings are at a historic low. Good job. We just had the largest fentanyl bust in American history. Out in the desert, out in Arizona, they had an American citizen, a young man, went across the border to Mexico, bought massive 4 million pills of fentanyl, shoved it inside, cut apart his trailer for his SUV, pretended he was hunting, cut apart his trailer, shoved the pills inside the rails of his trailer, then welded it all back together and tried to sneak it back across the border, and our Customs and Border Patrol busted him. Way to go, Kamala Harris. Way to go. Good job. That's real. That's real. Not made up crap. Not, hey, we're going to have camps. We're going to put people in camps. We're going to deport 20 million people. That's insanity. And they mean to try to do it. Don't get me wrong. When I say it's made up crap, I don't mean they're not going to try. These people are insane bigots. Just compare that whole, what if a Democrat did it? What if a Democrat just talked about this insanity, this stupidity, instead of what we do, which is talking about a $25,000 subsidy for first-time home buyers to help them buy a house, really helping people, and a $6,000 per family child tax credit. That's real, folks. That's real. That's not craziness. That's what you're getting. You got Harris-Walz that are talking about what's really going on in the country, what really needs to be fixed, what really needs to be done, what the government can really do. And then you've got on the right, you got Putin. I told you they coordinate these things out of the damn Russian embassy in Mexico City. We've got a caravan, folks. We've got a caravan. I told you they would have one that'll be here just in time for October. Told you. Did I call it? Did I call it or did I call it? There's a caravan that the Russians have organized in South Mexico right now. Told you. It's Putin's global play. Ask our friends in our European friends here. Ask our European friends here about weaponized immigration. It's in every one of their countries too. The right wingers. Ask our Canadian friends. Ask about Pierre and what he talks about. Same thing. Over, and they don't understand why it's failing. Yeah, the UK riots. Again, that's militarized immigration. A guy committed a crime that was born. He was born in England. But the right wing, what they were talking about, I saw your comment there talking about the UK riots. I haven't covered it here, so just in case you don't know what's going on, they had riots in the UK. Bigots on the right had massive riots in the UK because, we just had a great election. Keir Starmer is the new prime minister, and everything's moving left. So they've got to do this Putin militarized immigration. You had a guy commit a crime. He was born in England, but no, the right wingers said he was an immigrant. Put out a bunch of, the Russian bots put out a bunch of misinformation all over social media, and you had a bunch of young bigots out rioting against immigrants, attacking immigrants. That just happened in the UK. Ask our European audience. Our corporate media doesn't really talk about this stuff, but, and it was literally a guy born in England, not an immigrant. But compare all that with this. And again, I say they haven't even turned the guns on yet. They haven't started the attack. They're just being themselves. Tell me you don't love this. Tell me you don't love this.
Like I have white guy tacos and
What is
like
that?
black,
Like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much ground beef and cheese.
That's okay. Do you put any flavor in it?
No.
Oh.
Here's the deal. No, they said to be careful and let her know this, that black pepper is the top of the spice level in Minnesota,
I'm the first vice president, I believe, who has ever grown chili peppers.
I'm trying to expand my food knowledge.
We've got some cantaloupes. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'm going to play that one more time. That just made me laugh.
I have white guy tacos and
What is
like
that?
black,
Like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much ground beef and cheese.
That's okay. Do you put any flavor in it?
No.
Oh.
Here's the deal. No, they said to be careful and let her know this, that black
I love that look on her face. Oh.
pepper is the top of the spice level in Minnesota,
I'm the first vice president, I believe, who has ever grown chili peppers.
I'm trying to expand
We'll figure that-
my food knowledge.
We've got some cantaloupes. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I love that. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You see what I mean? You see what I mean, though? That's what's coming out of the Kamala Harris campaign. Good stuff, man. Happiness, joy, laughter. Real policies that are really going to help real people, man. But what if a Democrat, what if they said any of this stuff that I just showed you that Trump and J.D. Vance and You know, what if a Democrat lied like they do? What if any Democrat came out and disparaged J.D. Vance's military career? What would the corporate media do? I don't know about you, but I'm sick of it. I am sick and damn tired of it. I'm enjoying the good stuff. I said this the other day. Hey, Kamala Harris was the right person at the right time. She was. She's the right person at the right time. Tim Walz, never saw him coming. Never saw him coming. I was so deep into the minutia of the electoral politics that I never even really considered Tim Walz serious. I didn't. Absolutely right time, right person, right time. Great energy. Great energy. This is fantastic. And it shows. It shows. Folks, Florida is in play. Texas is in play. Ohio is in play. Not just Pennsylvania, not just Arizona, not just Georgia. Here's the strategy. Don't take your foot off the gas. Get it done. Get your paperwork done. Get your voter registration taken care of early. Why? That'll give you time to get somebody else registered. Get your kids registered. Get your grandkids registered. Share information. Hell, bring them here to the show, man. I'll talk to them if you're not comfortable talking to them. But let's do this. Don't take your foot off the gas. Don't coast. Don't do it. Well, I want to leave you with one other update that's not about domestic politics. We talked about the Ukrainian invasion of Russia. Yeah, I said that right. The Ukrainian invasion of Russia is going quite well. It is. The Russians have yanked troops out of Ukraine, have moved them into Kursk. The Ukrainians are absolutely decimating Russian armor. Their new strategic method of fighting these wars has been insane. The FSB, which is, you may know it as the old KGB. Yeah, Linda, exactly. You're seeing the Mormons in Utah who are normally just marching lockstep Republican are absolutely voting Harris. They are. This is a new day, folks. Keep your foot on the gas. Keep spreading that happiness and joy. But yeah, there's if you care to take a look, there's video after video after video of the Ukrainians hauling back equipment, damaged Russian equipment. That they haul it back to Ukraine, man. They do. They send it back to Poland, to depots outside of Ukraine. They put them on trains. They ship them to Poland, and 3 months later, that tank is coming back, repaired, ready to go, ready to fight with the Ukrainian flag on it. It is amazing. But I have this video for you. I do want to caution, though. There are so many videos of good things happening. Don't discount how hard the Ukrainians are fighting. Folks, this is horrible warfare. It really is. But there are some good things, and I just want you to, I want you to enjoy this. Imagine being in this unit. This is like a $5 million piece of artillery, okay? Imagine being in this unit. You're just walking along, and the FSB is freaking out, folks. The former KGB, they are freaking out because of the amount of Russians that are surrendering and doing this. This is crazy. This is happening all over the freaking place. Watch this.
Ви підірвали сильно. Пробуємо. Хлопці, пробуйте. Да.
It's brand new.
Не критично. Треба лягти ліпше.
You know, they're like, this has got to be a trap, right?
Да? Заводьте направо одразу. Клоуч, знімаємося.
Nope.
Запускається?
Just a perfectly good, gassed up, full tank of
Давай,
gas,
направо, одразу
T80
направо.
BVM,
Да,
just
да.
abandoned.
Прапор дістань, неси! Неси!
I want to pause this for a second. Tell me this doesn't blow your mind. Yes, that is an American Humvee in Russia.
Принеси! А принеси прапорів! Дай прапор.
You see what he did there? He took a Ukrainian flag. They just stole a $5 million piece of equipment that they found sitting down. They put a Ukrainian flag on it so that the Ukrainians don't shoot them when they're taking it back. I mean, come on, man. Oh my God, let me finish this up. Here it goes. How freaking great is that? Could you imagine? I mean, first of all, it had to scare the shit out of you. I mean, pardon my language, but you know, you're walking along and then all of a sudden, you walk around the corner and whoa, you know, and it's full of gas, ready to go, not a scratch on it, brand spanking new 280 T80 BVM, just sitting. Oh my God. And the Russians are freaking out, folks. They really are. If you follow, I've got several folks that I follow that are mill bloggers that follow the conversations in Russian media. They're really freaking out because they can't, you know, it's not the old days where they can control every image that the Russian people saw. They're seeing their soldiers surrendering en masse on their soil. There's another video I was going to play for you, but I didn't queue it up. We'll talk. Maybe we'll do it in another show. It's a Russian soldier doing an interview. And again, you know, it's a captured Russian soldier in a Ukrainian hospital that is under arrest. He is a prisoner of war, but he's talking about he tried to blow himself up with a grenade, and he's thanking the hospital staff for saving his life. And he tried to blow himself up with a grenade because the Russians are telling their soldiers that the Ukrainians are doing to their soldiers what the Russians are actually doing to Ukrainian captives, the torturing, all the videos that we've seen coming out of Russians torturing Ukrainian POWs. They're telling their soldiers that's what the Ukrainians are doing, and the Ukrainians aren't. They aren't. And they've got video after video after video after video of Russian soldiers that tried to commit suicide because they were afraid to be captured. E.T., my friend, thank you for your affirmation here. Florida primary, August 20th, with early voting until the 17th. I voted. Have you? It is less than 13 weeks until the general election. Make sure your voter registration, check your voter registration deadlines. Make sure to go and vote. Yes, thank you, A.T. Do not, E.T. Thank you so much for I appreciate you doing that every show. I'm grateful for the support. Yes, we cannot take our foot off the gas. We cannot. But anyways, folks, I just wanted to leave you with a good feeling. I knew I was going to talk about so much negative crap today. It was important that we talked about, but I just wanted to leave you with that conversation with Tim Walz, and I wanted you to see that video. I just laughed so freaking hard. Oh my God, I laughed so freaking hard. Could you imagine what those soldiers were feeling when they found that thing? Hey, you got a flag, man? You got a flag? Oh my God. If you want to see more of that, it's on X. It's just do a search for, Ukrainians capture vehicles, or, there are videos. One of the best videos I saw was, you've seen the heavy trucks that the military use. They put, to recover damaged vehicles, for their own repair. Oh my God, they're just truck after truck after truck after truck with damaged, abandoned Russian tanks and equipment, APCs, artillery, that are just abandoned, and they're loading them up and hauling them back to Ukraine, refurbishing them, and then 3 months later, 3 months from now, they will be heading back the other direction with Ukrainian flags on them, man. It is just amazing. I am so Slava Ukraini. I am so impressed with what the Ukrainian people are doing. They're facing an army that is 5 times their size, and they're winning. They are winning. I salute you. Enjoy some Texas cities at night.